Hey there, introverts and deep thinkers. Welcome to Introverts Unmuted, the podcast where we prove that quiet doesn't mean invisible and deep thoughts deserve a mic. If you've ever felt drained by small talk, mastered the art of sneaking out of the room, or wished the world understood the magic of solitude, this is your space. We dive into everything from navigating social energy to embracing creativity, confidence, and the unique power of being an introvert. So get comfy, plug in, and let's turn up the volume on our quiet confidence. I'm Amber Hansel, and this is Introverts Unmuted. If you're ready to introduce yourself with confidence and make a memorable first impression and effortlessly communicate your value, then this episode's for you. We're going to discover the secrets to building trust, forming genuine connections, and growing your client base one introduction at a time. So first things first, why do first impressions matter? Have you ever heard that saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression? It's true, and science backs it up. People form first impressions with a mere 7 seconds of meeting someone, and that's not much time, but it's enough for someone to decide if they want to trust you or want to learn more. So in those crucial seconds, our brains are hard at work making quick judgments based on tone, body language, and the content of words. A strong introduction isn't just about sounding good. It's about creating meaningful connections that stick. It influences trust and rapport, which are the foundations of any successful relationship, especially in business. So why first impressions stick? First impressions are shaped by your tone, body language, and the clarity of your words. Once someone forms an opinion, it's remarkably hard to change it. Think about the last time you met someone at a networking event, and did their energy make you feel excited to connect, or did you feel unprepared? Your energy is contagious. Because the cost of a weak introduction, it can cost you opportunities. It's that simple. But a strong one can set the tone for a powerful, profitable relationship. So to really cement that in, here's a quick practical exercise, which I'm going to give you throughout this episode. So the next time you're in a casual setting or even just practicing, pair up with a friend and practice introducing yourself, and then have them give you 3 adjectives that describe the impression you made. It can be really insightful to do this. And now that we understand the impact of first impressions, let's talk about what you're impressing people with. Your personal brand. Your personal brand is your reputation. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. It's how you define your unique value proposition and what sets you apart. What do you offer? Who do you help? Okay, that was a lot of questions, but that's your personal brand. So clarifying your strengths, values, and mission is essential, because when you align your personal brand with your business goals, you can maximize your impact. So defining your brand. So ask yourself, what do I stand for? What makes me different? And what specific value do I bring to others? So let me give you an example of a personal brand in action. I help small businesses grow their revenue by designing websites that convert visitors into customers. Notice how that is clear, specific, and it communicates immediate value. It doesn't just say, I'm a web designer. So grab a pen and paper and write down 3 unique qualities or skills you bring to your field. Turn those into 1 or 2 sentence statements that describe your personal brand. This is going to be invaluable to your introductions. We've covered the why and the what, and now let's get to the how. So a great introduction is clear, concise, and make people curious to know more. So it has a framework. We're going to break down the key components of an effective introduction: who you are, what you do, and why it matters. Because the goal here is to craft a clear, concise elevator pitch that's going to grab attention in under 30 seconds. Remember, we're going to adapt it to different contexts. So whether it's a networking event, a casual setting, an online interaction, because you're not going to have the same one for every single thing that you're doing. So there are the three key parts: who, what, and why it matters. So the simple formula is: hi, I'm, and your name. I help your target audience achieve a specific result through your expertise. For instance, hi, I'm Sarah, a marketing consultant. I help small businesses grow their online presence with targeted social media strategies. So notice how that is specific and result oriented. So for your exercise, I want you to write your introduction using that formula and practice it. Record yourself. Ensure it's concise and impactful. You can just like practice with others and making sure that it sounds like you. So that formula is, and it will be in the show notes as well, is you're going to say your name, then you help target audience achieve a specific result through your expertise. So now let's talk about how you say it. So confidence isn't something you're born with. It's a skill that you can build just like many other skills. And so many of us grapple with common fears like imposter syndrome or the fear of rejection. And we're going to tackle these head on with some mindset exercises, because preparation and repetition are your secret weapons for building confidence. And we're going to explore some mental reframing techniques to help you see introductions as exciting opportunities and not daunting obstacles. Overcoming imposter syndrome. This is so common. Everybody has this. You are not alone in experiencing imposter syndrome, because it makes you question your value. But you have to remember, you bring unique skills and experiences that others don't have. So for a reframing exercise, write down a recent success and list the steps you took to achieve it. This is going to remind you of your competence. So we're going to, through mindset, which is a daily practice, you need to replace your negative self-talk affirmations with things like, I am prepared. My story is valuable. Because your inner voice is powerful, so you're going to make it your ally. So I want you to think of that time that you feel truly confident. Reflect on what made you feel that way, and brainstorm how you can recreate those conditions for your introductions. This could be anything to that great pair of shoes that you like to wear, the music that you're listening to, or the power pose that you do beforehand. Because people don't just listen to your words, they read your energy. And so I want to talk about mastering your verbal delivery and understanding nonverbal cues to convey this unshakable confidence that you have. So we're going to explore how your tone, pace, and word choice affect how others perceive you. And we'll look at body language, eye contact, and hand gestures, because those small but mighty signals can speak volumes. We're going to talk about active listening, which shows genuine interest and builds mutual trust. So mastering tone and clarity. You need to speak slowly and clearly, because when you are rushed, it can make you seem nervous, that anxiety is going. But when you have a measured, steady tone, it's going to convey the confidence that you have. And with your body language, you can stand tall, maintain eye contact, and smile, because these small gestures make you appear approachable and confident. Because as introverts, we often tend to want to hide. We're going to make ourselves small. But that does the opposite of maybe how we're feeling. So open up your body language. So I want you to practice introducing yourself in front of a mirror or record yourself, and pay close attention to your tone, your posture, eye contact. You're going to really dig into what do you look like from an outside perspective. Because every time you practice, you're training your brain to be more comfortable and natural in real world situations. So let's talk about hands-on application. We're going to engage in role-playing exercises to simulate these scenarios and get you comfortable with different interactions. You can stay poised and adaptable during spontaneous or high-pressure interactions. So practice introductions in different situations. So a formal networking event, a casual coffee chat, a virtual meeting, because the more varied your practice, the more adaptable you become. And ask for honest, constructive feedback from a trusted friend, a mentor, or even a partner, because you're going to use those insights to improve your delivery and content. So feel free to message me if you want to practice with me. So you can rotate through different situations, and it's really about making sure that you feel comfortable in each one. Then we're going to take all that practice, and we are going to make it into tangible opportunities, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's a fundamental truth in building relationships. So ask open-ended questions that invite meaningful conversations, moving beyond those simple small talk. So storytelling techniques, it's going to make your introduction more relatable and memorable. So connecting with the people on a deeper level. Because you can practice finding common ground quickly, which is going to be a powerful way to build the rapport. So when we decide to active listen, and as introverts, we love to do this because we don't want to be the ones talking. So when you ask open-ended questions like, what inspired you to get into this field? What is the most exciting project you're working on right now? Listen attentively and truly hear what the other person is saying. And relate through stories. So using your personal story to connect emotionally with the person that you're talking to. This is going to make it more authentic and memorable. So what I want you to do is practice asking and answering open-ended questions. So focus specifically on finding common ground and generally listen to their responses. And then you can continue the conversation when you pick up keywords from their answer that they have responded with. Because your introduction should make people think this person understands my problem and they can help. So this next one is about shifting your focus from simply stating your job title to positioning yourself as the solution to someone's problem. Let's craft a message that highlights your benefits over features and really resonates. So you have to tailor your approach based on your audience's specific needs and interests. So let's focus on the benefits. Don't just describe what you do. Explain how it solves a problem or creates value. So instead of, hey, I'm a coach, I help busy professionals find clarity and achieve their career goals. That's not mine. It's examples, okay? And so it's very specific. We are focusing on how we can help them. So tailor your message. So before you speak, ask yourself, what does this specific person need to hear to see my value? Because customization is key. You have already talked to them perhaps, or you've overheard conversations. So really try to focus in on that. So write down 2 or 3 challenges your ideal client faces, and then list how your skills or services solve those specific problems, and practice weaving those into your introductions. Because a great introduction is just the beginning. The magic, the real opportunities happen in the follow-up. So in follow-up, a lot of people don't like it. They avoid it or they awkwardly do it. So it's about a timely, personalized follow-up to keep that connection alive and move it forward. There is CRM software, email templates to just manage your ongoing communication effectively. And most importantly, you're going to learn to build trust over time by consistently providing value through insights and referrals and resources. So, how do we craft a memorable follow up? You're going to send a personalized message that references something specific you discussed during our conversation because it shows you were genuinely paying attention and you value the interaction. So, building that long term relationship, you can provide ongoing value. So, share helpful resources, a relevant article, or introduce others in your network who might be a good fit. So, be a connector, not just a taker. So, for a practical exercise, I want you to, based on a mock networking conversation, or perhaps you've had one, write a follow up email or Instagram message and think about what you would say to keep that connection warm and provide value. Okay, you've learned how to make introductions, deliver them with confidence, and convert them into opportunities. And now let's tackle some bumps that are going to happen because rejection is a part of life and networking is no exception to this. So let's equip you with strategies to handle uninterested or skeptical individuals gracefully without letting it derail your confidence. So let's turn rejections into opportunities for self-improvement and resilience. You can learn to gracefully exit conversations that aren't a good fit, which is going to save your time and energy and theirs. So, rejection is not personal. Understand that rejection is often about timing, needs, circumstances. It is not about your worth or your value. A graceful exit. So we can learn phrases and strategies to exit conversations without burning bridges. So something like, it was a pleasure meeting you. I'm gonna go take a walk outside. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go grab some food over there. I'm gonna say hello to someone. Oh, I see someone I know. You're gonna exit gracefully. You're not gonna say, hey, this conversation is really boring and I'm out. We're not gonna do that here. Or you can view rejection as a redirection and an opportunity for growth because every no is going to bring you closer to someone that says yes. Maybe you need to tweak your introduction. Maybe you need to adjust your follow up strategy. How can you improve? So, in turning no into that learning experience, like I was just saying, so evaluate the feedback from conversations to refine your approach. What could have been done differently? And last, which can be difficult for some people, is really reading body language and cues to determine when to continue or to gracefully disengage and not force the conversation. If someone is responding very with short, yeah, no, and they don't seem interested, don't continue the conversation. End it gracefully, exit. So I want you to try a rejection reframe. So write down the 3 past networking experiences where you felt rejected or awkward and identify what actually happened versus what you assumed happened. Rewrite the experience as a learning opportunity. How could you adjust for a better outcome next time? And finally, practice 3 exit phrases to use when a conversation isn't good. The way you introduce yourself at a formal conference is very different from a casual coffee chat or even an online message. So let's understand the nuances of introducing yourself in different environments because large group settings, one-to-one meetings, virtual events, there's so much unpredictability, which can be very scary. You could meet someone that you look up to unexpectedly. And so I want you to always be ready with what you need. So a formal versus informal networking. So adapt your approach for different settings. Think conferences versus coffee chats versus DMs. Large groups versus one-on-ones. So learn techniques for making impact when introducing yourself in a crowd. Think if you get on an online networking call and there's 100 people on that call versus a one-on-one coffee chat. So virtual networking, craft introductions that feel personal and engaging, even when you're behind the screen. Are you voice noting? Is it text? That is going to sound different and look different. And handling that unexpected opportunity, how to introduce yourself confidently when you run into someone influential or an unexpected moment. Always have a concise version of your value proposition ready and understand how networking norms can vary in different industries, regions, cultural adaptability, and social adaptability. We need to make sure that we are being aware of who we are presenting to. So the multi-setting introduction, okay? Write down your formal networking event, a casual coffee chat, and a DM conversation. Practice saying each one out loud, adjusting for tone and formality, and write it down as well. Okay, so once you've mastered the introduction, now let's talk about leveraging it to create growth and scaling that impact so that you can have a referral network that works for you, generating leads and opportunities and diving into ways to grow your personal brand beyond one-on-one interactions. Public speaking, podcast guesting, strategic social media engagement. Ultimately, it's about creating that long-term relationship to land repeat clients, exciting new opportunities and collaborations. So from one to one to one to many. So expanding your reach beyond individual conversations through referrals and content creation. Building that referral network. How to make introductions work for you by creating that valuable, mutually beneficial connection. Leverage speaking opportunities in social media and collaboration so you can position yourself as a leader in your field. Creating long-term relationships, so having those strategies for keeping in touch and nurturing connections over time when there's no immediate business. Sustained visibility, how to stay top of mind in your industry or a niche so that when opportunities arise, people think of you. So you can do a referral map. So list 5 people in your network who could introduce you to potential clients or collabs. Reach out to 2 of them with a thoughtful message offering to collaborate or exchange referrals. And then create a simple LinkedIn or Instagram post reinforcing your expertise and making sure your audience knows how to refer others to you. So this was a lot, okay? There's the psychology of first impressions to scaling your impact. And now it's about making it uniquely yours because your introduction is not a one size fits all. We already talked about how it has to be different based on situations. So let's focus on refining your unique introduction with hands-on. So you can learn to adapt your introduction to fit specific industries and audiences. So be flexible and ready to tailor your message. Craft a strong, flexible introduction that sounds natural to you. Continually tweak your language, tone, and length for different situations. But develop an introduction that feels authentic and easy for you to say. So let's bring it all together. Consistency is key because the more you introduce yourself, the more natural it becomes, okay? You can set measurable goals for connecting with new clients or contacts and learn how to track your progress and celebrate wins. So, and adapt and evolve as it goes. So what I want you to do is set a goal to introduce yourself to 5 new people. Create a simple tracking system, however you want to do it, spreadsheet, notes app, however. And reflect weekly what worked, what didn't work. Most importantly, I want you to celebrate you because every new opportunity, a collaboration, it is about you improving your confidence and just boosting yourself. So I hope that this introduction webinar episode, you feel empowered and confident and ready to put these strategies into actions. Remember, every introduction is a chance to connect, build trust, and open new doors. You have the power to turn simple conversations into paying clients. So if you want customized support with this is something we absolutely talk about in the Conversationalist Coffee strategy. check the link in the show notes or send me an email. Let's chat next time.